So there should be someone, maybe a patrolling orc, or worst case we can go to the camp over here. There we go. You are the lucky man, sir. Come here, you. For the Grey Hammers! And I haven't actually killed any orcs in Lothlorien on this one. So, then we need to kill an Orc Goblin or Uruk in Moria, and we need to bring a Cereal's Blossom to Broen in the Peaceful Path. So, let's go there. Mithril coin it. So this is going to take us to the very northeast of... Oh, not the very northeast of Durin, because that would be over there, but the northeast part before we get to Jazagund, just east of the garden. And he's inside here. He's still recovering from his injuries, but he was fine during Book 9 and that, when we went to Mirkwood, but whatever.
Well, I don't know what to say. Well...
He seems infatuated. You give Broen the flower and tell him of Cereal's words. Well, I don't know what to say. And manages to stammer out an apology before starting again. It was nothing, of course, just a decent thing to do. And she such a noble elf and all, and being so courageous on my people's account. It would be a dwarf of little honour who would abandon a Cereal to that vile poison. A dour hand might, but no son of Broger, nor of Bosie, for that matter. She has the heart of a dwarf, I would tell you that. By that I mean that she is as brave as a dwarf, you understand. And not that she has my own heart, though of course she does, for how could she not? But what I mean is... Exhausted from the effort, Broen collapses into a confused silence and stares at you red-faced. I should stick with the orc slang at Laniel. I find it to be much easier. So there we go, he's done. So if we just step outside now then. Now hopefully somewhere around here we can find an orc. Conscripted defender, you'll do, sir. You'll do very nicely. Yeah, goblin here. For the Grey Hammers! So now we've got the second set of locations. So we've got Eregion, Troll Shores, and the Misty Mountains. So what other quests have we got to do? We need to go to Karas Galaton, we need to go to the 21st Hall to hand in Zigglebuck. So I think that'll be the next location. So I'm going to cut away and I'll meet you guys in a moment inside the 21st Hall of Moria. Okay, so we're back, and this time we're in the 21st Hall in the Chamber of Leadership. So we're going to speak to Body.
Thank you for coming back to Khazad-dûm, my friend.
Thank you for coming back here to Khazad-dûm, my friend. It was a long journey for Broen and me, and we spoke at length concerning the Mithril Axe. It has brought us little but misery, and my cousin convinced me that it could still do great harm in the future if wielded. Truth be told, I did not need convincing. I have seen firsthand the recklessness the axe stirs in the hearts of those who would wield it. My stay in the dungeons of Dol Guldur speaks loudly of this point. Our fathers initially resisted, but have now grudgingly assented to our plan. The dwarves cannot retain possession of Zigglebuck. Speak to me again, and we will make this a reality.
We will go together to see Broen and do what must be done.
Are you ready to witness the sealing of Zigglebuck at Laniel? The sooner it is done, the better it will be for the Iron Garrison. I believe, as does Broen.
The dwarves Bori and Broen have arrived at a momentous decision to return the mithril axe Zigglebuck to the place where it was found, never to be wielded by friend or foe again.
So we're going to have a roll call of all the dwarves that we met throughout our travels in Moria now. So this is Rathwald. He was the guy who met us outside Moria. We have certainly come a long way since I enlisted your aid for the Iron Garrison, have we not, at Laniel? Who can say they expected you to be of such help to us? I must admit, I did not. We dwarves of the Iron Garrison are gathering to witness the sealing of the Mithril Axe in the very depths of Gun Garaf. I am sure all will wish to speak with you as you make your way to Bug me. Take your time, Edlaniel. I know many dwarves will wish to speak to you on your way. So next we need to talk to Tolk, who is one of the other dwarves in the walls of Moria. So we head downstairs. If you remember, this is the Drowned Treasury, the end of Volume 2, Book 4, where we ended up meeting the Watcher for the second time. So, this is Tolk. Very good, my friend. I am glad you have come. I know it is important to Broin that you be here. I remember still how you took it upon yourself to slay the Crebain that sought to spy upon the Iron Garrison at our encampment just outside the Hollin Gate. Who knows what evil you forestalled that day at Laniel? Those filthy birds would report no news of our doings to their mysterious master, thanks to you. And thanks to the dwarf who asked you to do it as well. I.e. me. Ha-ha! I cannot remember now to what use we put those talons, but I am sure it was a good one. So now we need to talk to War. I can't remember what we did with War. Was he the ones in the Way of Smiths? We had to get him weapons and supplies and stuff. Oh, he was the guy who gave us the axes at the West Gate to uncover the door of Durin. My dwarves have been called upon today to collapse the passage leading to Gungaraf, once the mithril axe has been left within. It is strange to me to be covering up a passage rather than uncovering it. Indeed, you helped my dwarves unearth the doors of Durin at the West Gate, did you not? We have had much hardship since then, but look now at the glory of the Iron Garrison. The true work has only just begun. It will take several lifetimes of dwarves to restore the majesty of Khazad-dûm. So next up we have Hundi. I have not seen you since you passed into Moria, Edlaniel. How has the legendary weapon I gave you from the relics unearthed in the Eregion served? Hundi's brow furrows with disappointment as you answer. You replaced it? Ah, I see. Well, that is sometimes the way of weapons, is it not? Thankfully they fixed that problem. Right, so next up we need to talk to Swiner. Even so, it was my pleasure to start you on the path of discovering truly legendary items. So Swiner, I believe we were doing some stuff with him in the Silvertine Lodes. But whether we met him before that, I don't know. Watch your step, Edlaniel. The footing here is treacherous. Swiner thinks for a moment, then laughs. Who am I to tell you what is treacherous? We first met when I boldly charged into the deepest reaches of the Silvertine Lodes to challenge a nest of goblins in combat. I could have handled myself admirably, and was about to do so, but your intervention was still appreciated. But I'd do it again. Goblins beware! So down here, and we're now talking to Stilling, who was in the Deep Descent. Talk to Stilling in the Deep Descent is ingrained in my bloody brain. A lot of quest objectives in this game. I don't necessarily remember much about the quest, but I know the objectives by heart. And yeah, so this is one of them. Talk to Stilling in the Deep Descent. Look, Willie, if it isn't our counterpart at Laniel. You may not remember it, Laniel, but Willie and I launched the diversionary strike on the guarded junction, while you and Borri faced off against Ashpar in Stagnasks. It was no easy thing keeping the orcs from returning while you were still within their camp, but we managed it. We performed enough great feats that day to keep a dozen bards busy for a fortnight, didn't we, Willie? That we did, Stilling. So, Slothy. As you can see, we managed to hold out against the orcs at Laniel. Thorognir and I kept the supplies flowing to each of the Iron Garrison outposts within Khazad-dûm. You were a big part of our success in keeping the lines of supply flowing at Laniel, and we thank you for it. Thorognir and I are both at your service, and your families. So onwards, and we now talk to Sigdan. He's probably at the bottom of this waterfall. There he is. Careful, Edlaniel. The water here is rapid. My cousin Spore is still on duty, scouting the approaches to the Chamber of the Crossroads. But I know that Spore appreciated your help chasing down orc spies before the great battle. It was well done, Edlaniel, and it has been a pleasure working to reclaim the halls of Khazad-dûm with such a staunch ally as you. Watch your feet. The water here is swift. So next up we have Falfi. You are almost at Gangarath, Edlaniel. I did not think it would be this far, but Melmar here assures me that it is close. You are certain, Melmar? Aye, aye, you are almost there. I know these flooded deeps, you see. We've got dramatic music there. I thought something was about to gank us. Did I not find the very bottom of the well, Falfi? You did. And I gave you credit for walking rather than falling. He didn't want to throw himself in and rid us of his stupidity. Which is kind of like the opposite of stupidity, but whatever. You can throw yourself in and find the bottom of the well by doing it that way. You'll die, but it still counts, and it's the quickest way to do it. So, next up we talked to Waffy, who again was doing some legendary item stuff with us, wasn't he? Look at us, Edlaniel. Did you ever think that we'd be in this place about to leave a weapon of such power but buried beneath great stone walls never to be used? Is this the right course of action? Well, that is for Bosi and Broga and their sons to decide. We do our duties as they are assigned to us, and must trust that they know best. Did you doubt me when I sent you to salvage usable weapons from all around Khazad-dûm? It was for a good cause, was it not? Aye, it was. For the very survival of the Iron Garrison. So next up we've got Rink. These tunnels will not be used by dwarves following this day. What tales will spring up among our younger kin concerning our actions here, I wonder. Already I have told my boy of the great skill with which you dispatched goblin runners in the flooded deeps for me, Edlaniel. He is amazed at the number, though to be truthful, I have forgotten how many it was. 50? 100? I don't know, mate, my slayer deed's probably about 200. It's fine. Who can remember? Yeah, I know the feeling. So next we've got Stothco. Talk to Stothco in the way of Smiths. I have come to witness the sealing away of Ziggleback myself, Edlaniel, and few of my dwarves could bear to come with me. The mithril axe was forged at the heart of fire during the long time past, and for it to be no longer wielded seems a great shame to me. I understand that the axe has brought grief to the dwarves of the Iron Garrison, but as a forge master, and a dwarf in whom burns the fire of craftwork, the moon above the mountains will set today upon a different world. It will be a lesser world that does not have Ziggleback in it. So next we've got Orva. I knew you would not miss this moment, Edlaniel, elf that you are. It seems that adventure follows you wherever you pass. The feats of heroism we committed in the depths of Buzungar and in Rush-Durinul are still a wonder to me, and will be until the end of my days, I am sure. The tales of which we have been a part of will echo to the cavern heights of even the grandest ale hall of Khazad-dûm. Sing the song of Orvar Belhammer and Edlaniel the elf, they will say. Which song will be the reply? So onwards, and we now talk to Bosi. And we're nearly down there, it's just the last room now. Welcome back to Khazad-dûm, Edlaniel. For the great service you have done my family, and for rescuing my son from the dungeons of Dol Guldur, you will always have a home here if you want it. I know Broga is not pleased with the idea of leaving Ziggleberg in the depths of Gangarath untouched, but the mithril axe has brought us little but grief. I agree with my son and my nephew on this. Better for Ziggleberg never to have been found, I say. And then last up, we have Broger. Do you intend to go along with this foolish decision of my son and nephew to leave Ziggelberg here in the depths? This is a mistake, Adlaniel. I am certain any misfortune brought upon us by the mithril axe would have befallen us even without it. Why abandon such a weapon? Surely we will have need of it again. Can you say we will not? To abandon such a weapon seems the height of foolishness to me, Adlaniel. So next we talk to Body, who should be at the very depths down here. Thank you for coming here for us. Oh, pardon me. Adlaniel. Broen is just ahead with Ziggelberg. It is for the best. The mithril axe should remain unused from now on, left for all the ages of the world in the watery chamber where it was found. Broen is just ahead. So there we go. This is the area where we found the Watcher hiding out. So if we just climb down the rubble, there's Broen. This is the last time I will stand within the walls of Gangarath, Adlaniel. I remember when I crawled, dripping and scared, out of the pool and lay my eyes upon this flooded chamber. Were it not for Ziggelberg clutched in the hand of the dwarf Owen, a friend of my grandfather's, I could not have kept the terrible beast of the pool at bay. So there you go. It was Owen. So another one of Thorin's company down there. So we know the fate of what happened to some of the others as well. Obviously Balin is the one that tried to reclaim Moria the first time round after the events of The Hobbit, and he failed, and he's entombed in the Chamber of Mazabul. And what was the other guy? I can't remember his name. The one that wrote the book. He was the really dumb one in the movies. The name eludes me. Oh, I needed to talk to Brian again. I wasn't paying much attention, was I? Dory, isn't it? I think it's Dory. Yeah, he was dead in the Chamber of Mazabul as well. Donk. Oh, didn't I click continue last time? There we go. It is time to return the mithril axe to the place where I found it. Stuck in a pile. Did you actually bury him? No, you just left his corpse down here. I have borrowed Ziggelberg for long enough. I return it now to your keeping, Master Owen. May you keep it safe through the long years. Climb the rubble out of this chamber and tell Bori it is done, Adlaniel. So he'll be with us shortly. So up we go. Head back outside, and we're going to find that all the dwarves are going to be assembled to watch the ceiling of this cavern. So here we go. Everyone's watching. Talk to Bori. So it is done then. It is good to know that Ziggelberg will trouble the dwarves no more. Are you ready, Broen? I am. Seal the passage. Been digging away trying to make it collapse in. There we go. Okay, it's now sealed forever. Very well. There let it lie until the end of days. Let us return to the 21st Hall. We have done what we set out to do with Laniel. We have made the difficult choice. The right one. So we can hand that one in now.
It is for the best, my friend.
I must thank you again, Daniel. Abandoning such a precious and valuable weapon is not an easy thing, even for dwarves for whom it has brought such grief. But it is for the best. Desire to possess items of such beauty and value has often led my people down the path to misfortune. With your help, Rowan and I have had the chance to turn aside from that path before it was too late.
You must slay Gorothul and end his menace.
So we get the last epilogue then that we need to pick up, which is Gorothul of Dol Guldur. Ziggelberg now rests in the depths with Oin its keeper, but the cause of our hurt remains. Gorothul, sorcerer of Dol Guldur, still lives, and so long as he does, he endangers the peace of Moria and Lothlorien. Gather a fellowship of allies and set forth for Samath Gul, his chambers in the fortress of Dol Guldur. Slay Gorothul and end his menace at Laniel. We will not be free of his threat until the sorcerer is defeated. So this is a 6-man instance, so we're going to have to wait until we get to doing the instances with a few of the guys before we can hand that one in.